Good morning, fans, and welcome to the 2020 Big Sky Basketball Media Day. And joining us today is Sacramento State head coach Brian Katz. Coach, I know you are extremely busy right now, so we are going to jump right into the questions.
Great.
Obviously, this has been a very strange time with COVID-19 and the effect that it's had, not just on basketball, but on the entire collegiate athletics landscape. Talk about some of the adjustments you, your coaching staff, and team have needed to make.
Well, we just said from day one, our mantra was you have to be nimble, flexible, and creative, and we've certainly done that. We were outside in the summer on the outside courts, and we've had to make a lot of adjustments. We've had to tape lines on a football field and do some things like that. So it's forced us all to be nimble, flexible, and creative.
You were born and raised in Sacramento, graduated from Sacramento State, and now you're going into your 13th year as the Hornets head coach. What has intrigued you so much about the Sacramento area and working at Sacramento State?
Well, number one, it's home. And number two, I did graduate from here. And I always say, I'm very fortunate to be one of the few people probably ever that coached junior high basketball, freshman basketball, JV basketball, varsity basketball, junior college basketball, and Division I basketball in the same town. So I'm pretty fortunate that way.
You have 16 players on this year's roster, 9 of which could see the game action for the first time in a Sacramento State uniform this year. As a whole, discuss the talent level of this group of new players.
It's definitely very different. We're longer, more athletic, and probably have more depth than we've ever had. Now, what does that translate to? I'm not sure exactly, but it's definitely going to be a different group than last year.
And the returners, 7 players that appeared in a Hornet uniform a year ago. Talk about the group and what you expect from them this year.
Well, the returners, you always feel like they would set the tone, certainly know your culture, know what you want, and I think they've done a good job with that so far. You know, you've got some guys back that have done a lot of starting. Ethan started a lot, Bryce has started a lot, Brandon Davis has started a lot. You know, I'm probably forgetting somebody, but we do have some guys that have logged a lot of minutes and a lot of starts. So.
And speaking of your roster, you have always recruited the Sacramento area since the moment you stepped foot on campus. This year you have 5 Sacramento area players on your roster. Was there more of an emphasis placed on the homegrown talent?
No more than usual. That's always a big priority for us because we think Sacramento has really good basketball. We just got lucky. Rick Barros from Capital Christian, Zach Chappelle from Capital Christian, DJ David Jones from Grant, Will Fitzpatrick from Vista Del Lago, and of course Christian Terrell from Sacramento High School. So, we think the area's got really good players, and we try to recruit inside out, and we hit lottery this year a little bit.
And now a fourth-year senior, Bryce Fowler, has been kind of the team's Swiss Army knife in the fact that he can do a little bit of everything. He's your only fourth-year senior this year. How far has he come as a player and his importance to the team?
Well, I mean, he's essentially a 4-year starter. He started since his freshman year on. You know, we brought him off the bench at various times, mainly because it fit our team, our rotation, but he's essentially a 4-year starter. He's played 1 through 4, and he'll do that again this year. So, he's good. He's a perimeter shooter. He can drive it. Very good passer. Has been 2-to-1 assist turnover ratio at least 2 of his years here. And last year led our team in assists, both in non-conference and in conference. And yet, is he a point? Is he an off? What is he? He's a ball player.
The Hornets' identity last year was defense, as the team boasted the 5th best defense in the nation. Do you anticipate the Hornets keeping with that same defensive intensity this year?
Yeah, I think so. A little differently though. We like I said, we have more length and athleticism, so I do see us out being a little handsier, maybe doubling a little bit more, maybe pressing a little bit more. And of course, when you do that, it does tend to create some tempo. So we'll stick with our core values. We always adjust to our team, what our team does well. We want to play to our strengths, away from our weaknesses. But that would play to our strength this year for sure, to get after it a little bit more defensively.
And even talk about rebounding. You guys had the best rebounding margin at this school in over 30 years last year, plus 3.8 per game. Talk about that, just that grit when it comes to rebounding, and you expect to see that again this year.
We're really hoping so. You got to emphasize it every day, and your guys have got to bring it every day. Last year, our guys did a great job. We have a real emphasis on it this year. We did lose some guys that rebound the ball pretty well, though. So we're going to have some guys step up.
The Hornets were 10-4 at home last year and are 77-34 in the nest dating back to 2012. With no fans in the stands this year because of COVID, how much more difficult will it be to establish that home court advantage?
Well, they're not going to be rooting for you, but it'll be quiet. So that part's good. I don't know. I mean, how much just being familiar with the lighting, the rims, etc. helps you. I'm not sure. there's two ways to look at that. The one is you go, well, you might lose your home court advantage, but when you go on the road, same thing. So I'm not really sure how that'll work out, but hey, I hope we're great at home. Hope we're great on the road too.
All right, off the court, you live a healthy lifestyle. Talk about your daily regimen in regards to taking care of yourself and staying healthy.
I run 3 miles every day. Just that's pretty much it. I try to do some other stuff too, but at least 3 miles kind of wakes you up, keeps you going. So just I've done that for, God, I don't know, 40 years or so. So old habits die hard.
All right, well, thank you, Coach. We appreciate your time, and good luck this season.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you talking to me, Ryan.
All right, we'd now like to welcome fourth-year senior Bryce Fowler to the program. Bryce, you are the team's lone fourth-year senior on this year's roster. As the longest tenured Hornet, talk about how previous years have prepared you for this leadership-type role.
Yeah, I mean, being here for 4 years, I really got to learn from guys that have been real experienced. My freshman year, I got to learn a lot from Justin. My sophomore year, I got to learn a lot from Marcus. And then my last year, I got to learn a lot from Joshua. So it was just learning a lot about Katz, learning about a lot about the system, just kind of figuring out what the coaches want, and then also just having a lot of Big Sky play under my belt is something that can help the team, and obviously just helps me get better every year. So.
You and your team are playing through some different times with COVID-19 affecting the landscape of the world in collegiate athletics. What are some of the biggest changes the Hornets have needed to make because of COVID?
One of the biggest things for us is having to deal with what we do off the court. I would say for the most part on the court, we're safe, we're doing all the procedures and protocol, but off the court, we really have to make sure that, we're college students, and obviously we want to have fun and we want to do stuff like that, but we also have to be smart and realize that one positive test could end our season really if it spreads throughout our team. So that's something important that we usually talk about and say how we have to make sure that, be careful who we're hanging out around, be careful what we're doing, where we're going, and just be smart because we all want to play and we all want to have a good year.
You were top 3 on the Hornets last year in scoring, rebounding, and assists, and have played 4 different positions during your tenure. That multi-dimensional ability, how have you become so good in so many different areas?
For me, I think it's really just about being available. I think being on the court and just being someone that can play any position, be able to do whatever the coaches ask. I think, not every game you're going to be able to score 10 plus, 15 plus, so you got to be able to rebound, play defense, pass the ball. So that's really the main focus for me, is just being someone that the coaches can play in any situation and any given time.
You're an important player from the moment you stepped foot on campus as a freshman. You've played 92 of a possible 93 games, which includes playing through multiple injuries. How important is it to be out there with your teammates every night?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of talked about it earlier, just really being there for my teammates and just being someone that the coaches can rely on. I really want to be a guy that, is there for every game. I don't want to miss any games because my teammates count on me and I count on them, so I have to hold the same standards for them as they do for me. So I would be upset if one of my teammates was missing a lot of games or missing a lot of stuff, especially if they're important to the team. So that's something that I focus on, is taking care of my body a lot off the court, and also just being able to play through injuries. That's part of the game, and that's just something you got to live with.
The Hornets were ranked 5th in the nation in last year in defense. What's it like playing on such a defensive-minded team?
It's very different from growing up. I mean, obviously everyone wants to score a lot and play fast tempo and play up and down and that type of thing. But it's really kind of cool. I mean, I learned a lot. I've learned a lot defensively since I've came here, and it's a good skill to have, because some games you're not going to be able to make shots. Some games you're not going to be able to score 80 points. So just having that ability to lock somebody up to under 60 points is something that's really useful and can win you a lot of games.
Coach Katz has graduated 43 of his 44 players during your tenure. Are you on pace to graduate during this academic year, and what are your plans once school is finished?
Yeah, I am on pace to graduate in the spring, so that would be really cool. Hopefully we can have a graduation, all that type of thing. But yeah, I'm on pace to graduate, and after that, really just want to try to play professionally overseas or whatever that comes to, and if not, then I really want to kind of looking to get into coaching. I've really been interested in that kind of aspect, just because I feel like I'm a pretty smart player and know a lot about the game, and I feel like it'd be cool to help out younger guys and get them to the highest level.
You were a big part of the Hornets finishing with a plus 3.8 rebounding margin a year ago and average over 4 boards per game yourself, despite playing a lot at the point. Has rebounding always been a strong part of your game?
Yeah, I would say so. I grew up, I had weird growth spurts going up, so I was like kind of tall when I was younger, so I kind of played a lot of like the 4 or 5, and then I kind of stopped growing, so I played a little more guard and then kind of grew a little bit more. So I've been kind of everywhere, so that kind of really helps with my versatility and also just kind of learning how to rebound different positions, being able to box out different guys, whether they're guards or bigs, so that's kind of always helped me.
All right, well, thank you, Bryce, for joining us today, and we wish you and the Hornets success this year.
Thanks for having me.
Good morning, Hornet fans, and welcome back to the 2020 Big Sky Basketball Media Day. We are excited now to welcome Sacramento State women's basketball head coach Bunky Heartle. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Robert. Happy to be here.
Coach, I know you and the team are incredibly busy right now, so let's just jump right in. This has obviously been a very strange and trying time with COVID-19 and the effect this pandemic has had not just on basketball, but on the entire collegiate athletics landscape. Tell us about some of the adjustments you, your coaching staff, and your team have had to make.
There's been many adjustments we've had to make, some simple, some not so simple. Obviously, we've been in pods and smaller groups. We've been inside. We've been on the outdoor court. We had to start and end our practice times staggered. Also the logistics of testing and some of the anxiety that the whole COVID scenario situation brings. But all in all, our kids are doing a great job, and we're just excited to have the opportunity to compete.
With so much up in the air and things seemingly changing day to day, how do you keep yourself and your team focused?
We just do our best. We try to make the most of our time together. We're keeping things simple right now, working a lot on fundamentals and slowly getting back in shape. So we're just doing our best and trying to have another level of understanding and patience with our team and all the different situations happening right now.
Speaking of the team, you've added 6 new players to the roster for this season, 5 of them true freshmen. As a whole, can you discuss the talent level of this new group of players?
It's a nice mix of talent. They're definitely young, but we've got a nice mix of people that can shoot the basketball, that can dribble the basketball, and there's also some nice length in there with 2 of our freshmen. So as a group, as a unit of 6, it's a really nice group. They just need some time and time together.
So with just 6 newcomers, that means you return 11 players from last season, one of your largest returning groups in recent seasons. What kind of an impact does such a large returning core have on the team for this year?
We hope it has a very positive effect in terms of continuity and maturity, and having 11 players that have either seen certain situations or been in certain situations and have gained the knowledge and insight on how to respond. The Big Sky basketball, women's basketball, is brutal. And having players that have gone through it multiple times and are slowly but surely toughening up and raising their level, that's exciting.
One of those returners is redshirt junior Tiana Johnson, entering her 4th year with the program. TJ was one of 2 players to see action in all 30 games a season ago and set career highs in multiple categories. Can you speak to her importance to this team and how she has progressed during her career here at Sacramento State?
TJ is slowly but certainly becoming Iron Woman. She's getting in better shape. Her skill set has improved every year since she's been here. We are going to rely on Tiana to play a lot of minutes and play a lot of different roles for us. So she's a perfect example of the continuity, one of the 11 that do return, and just want to build on that knowledge and that experience, and she's going to be a big part of our success.
Last year's Hornets led the Big Sky in turnover margin, forcing nearly 19 turnovers per game and ranked among the top of the league in scoring. That's been representative of your teams in the past. Can we expect to see more of that high-pressure, fast-action style of play again this season?
We've got to stay healthy. If we're healthy, we will do that. If we're not healthy, we have to make adjustments, and that's what we've had to do the last couple go-rounds. But we want to play fast, we want to be aggressive, we want to get up and down the court, and that's what our plan is right now.
The 2021 season will be your 8th at the helm here at Sacramento State. What are some of your favorite things about coaching at Sacramento State and competing in the Big Sky?
The Big Sky is an amazing league. It's an amazing league. The travel is tough. The talent level is great. Every year, our league RPI is among the best for mid-major basketball. Sacramento, this is a great community. It's a great city. It's a lot of great people here. I love the campus feel, I love the family feel. It's just a great place to live. And obviously, love being around our players and having the opportunity to compete and coach basketball every day.
All right, one more, Coach, for you. Off the court and on a more personal note, we've heard that you've taken up archery as a pastime. What is it that drew you to that sport, and do you see any connection to basketball in it?
Not really sure what drew me to the sport. I like to learn new things and do new things, and that was one of the new things I thought would be really cool to learn about during the pandemic, and I've fallen in love with it, and I'm having fun with it. It's been a great opportunity to spend time with my family, but also a great time to learn something new. So you can make it a community thing or an individual thing. That's similar to basketball. Definitely, if you can achieve a flow state and kind of get lost in what you're doing, that's also one of the great things about it, and just a lot of fun.
All right, Coach. Well, we appreciate your time. Thank you, and good luck this season.
Thank you, Robert.
We'd now like to welcome redshirt junior and forward Tiana Johnson to today's Big Sky Media Day. Thanks for being here, TJ.
Yeah, Robert, thanks for having me.
So, TJ, this is your 4th year with the program, which makes you one of the longest tenured Hornets. How have the previous years helped prepare you for a leadership role with this team?
Yeah, I definitely have a lot more experience, and it's nice to have with so many new girls coming in. You just kind of learn about how the practices are supposed to go, like how the different coaches have different coaching techniques, and then just experiencing the Big Sky.
You and your teammates have been playing through some difficult times with COVID-19 affecting everything from housing to training schedules and more. What have been some of the biggest changes, and how have you adapted to them?
The biggest change was probably spending the whole month of September on the outside courts. I kind of personally liked it a little bit because it felt a little old school, but it's coming back into the regular gym, it's a huge difference. And then just playing with masks as well makes it a little bit more difficult, but hopefully when we get to take them off, we'll be able to breathe really well.
Last year, you were one of 2 Hornets to appear in all 30 of your team's games. How important is it to you to be ready to go each and every day for your team?
Well, it's all about the team, and it's about what you can do for the team and how you can help each game. So every basket, rebound is just another way for me to help the team. And I've been fortunate enough not to have any big injuries since my freshman year, so it's been really nice to help my team every day.
In addition to a career high for games played, last season you also set career highs in scoring and rebounding. As the team's leading returner in both categories, how do you build on the success of last season and continue that trend this year?
So you just have to keep working harder, and you have to work harder than the year before, and you have to realize that some teams now kind of realize what I can do on the court and find ways where you can still make a difference and honestly just work harder.
Perhaps an underappreciated part of your game, last year you led the team and ranked 2nd in the Big Sky in free throw percentage, shooting over 80% from the line. How have you developed that skill over the course of your career?
After every shooting drill, you're always shooting free throws. So it's just something you really start to hone in on, and you start to practice, and I really want to get above 80% this year. That's my goal.
Over the course of your career, you split time playing outside and in the paint. How do you train and prepare for different roles and playing styles on the court?
It's just kind of like the matter of practice. If I spend most of the practice working on my post moves, after practice, that's when I get outside and I start shooting the threes, and kind of vice versa. And I'm fortunate enough to have the green light in practice as well if we're playing up and down to, play post or something, or I can go out and I can shoot the 3 or try and drive. So it's nice.
This team returns 11 players from a year ago, one of the biggest returning groups in recent seasons. Among them is senior Tiara Scott, returning for a 5th year after missing her senior season with injury. What kind of impact does Tiara's experience and the experience of the group overall have on the team for this season?
Having Tiara come back is nice because she just has a good impact on our team, and she has good experience as well within the Big Sky and also practices. And then within 11 girls still here, it's a good way for us to try and get the new girls to know, hey, this is what we do, this is our standards, but also help them feel like they're part of a family.
And lastly, who's one of your teammates that you think will surprise the fans this year?
I've been playing a lot with Jessica Rios. She's a freshman, and I think she will surprise some people. She's very quiet, but she is a hard worker, and she can shoot the 3.
All right, great. Thanks, TJ. Thank you for joining us today. Good luck to you and the Hornets on the upcoming season.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you again, TJ, and thank you, fans, for joining us for the Sacramento State Big Sky Basketball Media Day.